It's time now for KMTS Connections, a public affairs program from KMTS News, heard every day around 12:30 right here on KMTS, bringing you interviews and information regarding local nonprofit events and city and county services from Aspen to Rifle. KMTS Connections connects you to everything that matters in the Roaring Fork Valley and beyond. Once again, it's Gabe from the KMTS Morning Show. And with immigration a hot topic in the whole country right now, actually going to be talking a little bit about that subject somewhat today in a way that I would never have expected to. So let me set the groundwork here. Dawn Otto Hayes from the Eagles Club is here.
Yes, I am.
And Candace Baumert is here as well.
Yep.
Now, are you a member of the Eagles, Candace, or...
I am not.
Okay, so that just happens to be where this event is being held.
It is.
Okay, so let me introduce you also to Mike Hills, who is a teacher at what school, Mike?
Riverside Middle School.
Okay, at Riverside in Newcastle.
Yeah,
sure. Spent a lot of years there. So the story is, Mike is a teacher, and have you always worked as a teacher, or is that just recently?
I've worked as a teacher over here for the past 10 years.
Okay, so since 2007 or so?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was teaching skiing before then, and then I worked on summer camps as well.
So where this is going, Mike came here in 1993 and has been in the United States on various work visas since that time, and it's to the point now where Mike either needs to become a citizen or go back to England, right?
Mm-hmm.
England?
Yeah.
And so... Candace, I guess you and a bunch of Mike's friends got together and decided to put on this benefit because apparently it's expensive to go through the citizenship process.
It is quite expensive, actually. About $15,000 is kind of what we're looking to raise, and we have about a third of it so far.
So why? Why did you decide to do this?
Well, Mike is a great teacher, he's been teaching for a long time, and his students love him and they don't want to see him leave. He's been teacher of the year 2015, right? Mm-hmm. And it's hard to find teachers that are willing to work out where we work in such rural areas, and it's beneficial to keep teachers around that have been here for years and that families know them instead of training new teachers that come in.
So how long does a work visa last? Does it depend on what kind of work you're doing, or?
It's usually around 3 years, and it's usually 3 years, and then you can extend the work visa, or you move to a different work visa.
So you've had 4 or 5?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. When does your current work visa expire?
It expires in September 2018, but the process has to start for this work visa. Now has to start like before the end of this month.
No kidding. Interesting. So you've got almost a year and a half to go through the process. Mm-hmm. And to be clear, you are you'd like to actually become a citizen of the United States as opposed to just another temporary extension.
Yes.
Why is that?
I love the USA, and I love working here. The people are fantastic. The kids are great, so I consider myself part of the community.
Now, when you came to the United States on that first work visa, was it to this area?
No, it was to Pennsylvania in the Pocono Mountains.
Interesting. What'd you do there?
I was in charge of a lake.
Really?
The whole lake.
I was in charge. I worked at summer camp, and I mean, when I first came to Pennsylvania, I had worked 10 years in a naval shipyard on the docks with 14,000 men. Making warships for the Navy, and then in 1 year 10,000 of us got laid off, and I was sat at home and I watched this movie called The Graduate, and I thought, I'd like
Dustin Hoffman, right?
Well, the girls in there,
right,
and the music, and I thought to myself, I'd love to go to this country called the USA, and I'd like to go on a Greyhound bus and go around the USA on a Greyhound bus playing Paul Simon's music, quite nerdy. So I thought, how am I going to do that? So I applied for this summer camp, and then I got work there, but I was straight from a shipyard, and straight off I got myself in trouble because I was kind of a big, roughy-tufty guy.
And I imagine on the shipyard you can probably talk in ways that are not encouraged at the summer camp.
Absolutely. So
Although it was all, British humor, so nobody would probably got it.
So I was. I think I escaped a few times, but I was working there, and at first it was difficult because I wasn't used to actually dealing with regular people. And then, as the summer camp finished, this same lady approached me called Claire, and she said, "I'm a school teacher," and she said, "You should be a school teacher because you're intelligent." She said, "You never lose your cool. People like you." And I had low self-esteem. I was like, "What do you need for that?" And she said, "You need to get a teaching degree." I went, "How do you do that?" Because I'd left school at 15. So I said, no. And I jumped on this Greyhound bus, and I thought, I'll go from New York to Philadelphia and play this music and get this bucket list finished. And I just kept going. I did 9,000 miles in the end with Paul Simon's music.
On the Greyhound.
On the Greyhound, yeah.
Wow. Did you have with Paul Simon's music? So you had some kind of portable,
yeah, like a tape, like a
little Walkman.
Yeah, like a little Walkman from back in the day.
All right, I'm just trying to get the whole picture in my mind here.
So it'd be like a tape, not a CD.
It was a cassette, yeah.
I was going to say in the early '90s, yeah.
Yeah, it was the only one cassette I played.
Yeah, they had portable CD players, but they weren't great.
That's
yeah, Dawn and I remember those, don't we?
Great big old boom boxes.
So, at what time did you come to this area?
I came here in the early 2000s.
Okay, so 15 years or so?
Yeah.
That you've been here?
Yeah.
And would you say it's fair to say that you consider this your home now?
I would. Even though I've still got the accent, I consider this. I'm like a dog who thinks he's a human. Until people tell me I'm English, I think I'm straight out of Colorado. But no, when people say your accent, I'm like, what?
People always tell me that we have the accent. That's what they always say. Whether it's New York or Texas or
Sure.
Australia, Mexico, they always say, "Well, you have the accent." No, I don't. I'm as Midwest as you can get. Isn't that the where you have no accent?
Exactly.
Standard accent.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So again, the benefit is called the Save Super Hills benefit. I may want to ask more about the super part of that a little bit later on, Candace, if you don't mind. There's some live performances. There's food as well. Silent auction. We'll talk about all of that in just a minute. This happens on February 25th. That's Saturday from 2 to 8 p.m. again at the Eagles Hall in downtown Glenwood Springs. If you would like to attend, there are posters hanging up all the way from Rifle to Glenwood, or in what areas?
We'll have them out in Carbondale, too.
Okay, so all the way from Rifle to Carbondale. Posters hanging up. There's actually a QR code you can scan with your phone that links to a GoFundMe account and a Facebook page. So if folks just search Facebook, if they don't see a flyer,
or a flyer.
Yeah, they can just search Facebook for Super Hills.
And it's on Facebook. It's spelled SUPA. I think the person who created the Facebook account said they couldn't spell it super. They spelled it supa.
So there you go. So it's SUPA. So if you search Facebook for SUPA Hills, you can find more information about this fundraiser. Again, Saturday, February 25th at the Eagles in downtown Glenwood. Admission is $3 for students. Yes, they are welcome. $5 for adults and $15 maximum for the entire family. For those 21 and over, the Eagles will have the bar open, and the benefit will share a portion of the proceeds from the bar. Again, that's Saturday, February 25th at the Eagles in downtown Glenwood. We'll take a quick break and come back. You're listening to KMTS Connections. Welcome back to KMTS Connections. Again, this afternoon, we're visiting about the Save Super Hills benefit at the Eagles Hall in downtown Glenwood on Saturday, February 25th. Dawn came along just to make sure that we don't misrepresent the Eagles, right?
We're just here to facilitate such a wonderful cause.
So how does this work? Candace said that she's not a member of the Eagles. I assume Mike is not a member of the Eagles. So how do they get in touch with you and talk about these things?
Well, you know from interviewing us in the past that our motto is people helping people. And this is one of our ways of helping people. Teachers in our community are a big thing. And I got a call from Candace's cohort, Diana, and asked if we would be interested in letting them use our facility for this event. And of course we are. We have a wonderful facility. We're big enough that we can provide enough space that they can do several different things. And it's giving back to the community, which is what we're here for.
Aside from the space, are you providing anything else like the...
Our bar will be open.
Okay.
Of course, that money comes to us,
Okay.
but we're the space is basically what we're providing. We also have some people there helping out, some people from the Erie side and the auxiliary side. But basically, it's their place to do with what they want.
Gotcha. Okay. Again, this benefit happens on Saturday, February 25th from 2 to 8. And again, Mike Hills has been in the United States since 1993. Came to Colorado by way of Pennsylvania, as you're not the only person, I'm sure, that got here that way. As I've heard people say, the important thing is they're here. You've been teaching for the last 10 years or so, you
Yes,
said, that's
I have,
in
yes.
the RE2 district? At the same school that whole time, or have you moved around a little bit?
Riverside, yeah.
Okay, what age? What
Fifth grade.
okay.
I tried 7th grade, and
Really?
Yeah, I
Just
try-
2 years is that much of a difference.
I tried 7th grade for 2 years, and I was like, it was harder than working on the docks. We've all been 7th graders. You know how hard it is.
Sure, harder than the shipyard.
Yes, it was. I'd rather face those 14,000 men than do that.
Oh, that's fascinating. Quite interesting.
Guys from the shipyard, say your job is so easy. You should come back and work in the shipyard. I'm like, you've never tried teaching. It's
So you still maintain connections with folks
yes,
back
yeah,
home?
yeah.
Okay. Have you ever at any time considered going back home? I mean, I'm sure that depending on the outcome of the fundraiser and
Sure.
all of that, it may be necessary. But I mean, have you considered wanting to go back home?
No, I first came here, and like lots of people, I fell in love with the place. All I do is hike. I'm just like a hiking nerd, so that's.
Do they have hiking in England?
Yeah, there's
Okay.
hiking there. It's hiking there, but you've got to dodge the puddles and the wind.
Okay. Well, that's kind of like here in the spring and fall, maybe, I guess, as well. Maybe not to the same extent. Because England actually is about the same latitude as we are, right?
Yeah.
Ish?
Yep.
38 or so degrees?
Yeah, people.
Is that right?
People will say, it's always raining in England, and I always say, because I saw this show once over here, and the guy said, he said people say it rains in England, but if you're from Florida or California, then yes, it does. But if you're from Pennsylvania or New York or any of those states, it's actually sunnier.
Right.
Can
Gotcha.
you believe it?
It's actually like 39 degrees, by the way. Call me a liar for 1 degree on the darn compass.
That's pretty good. I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, I was impressed.
Okay, well, this is going to be an easy interview in that case, if that's as easy as it is to impress you. Let's talk a little bit more about the event again on February 25th at the Eagles. You got a couple bands that are going to be performing?
We do. We have Whiskey Stomp, and actually the dad, his kid is in Mike's class.
Oh, currently or?
Yes, currently, and apparently I'm supposed to be singing, so maybe that might turn a few people away.
Oh, and what
Or
might
bring
you
them
be
in.
singing?
I'm not too sure yet, but
Something by Simon and Garfunkel.
I'm not too sure what I'm singing, but apparently the band contacted Diana and said, "Oh, that's fantastic! Yeah, I'll do anything for Mr. Hills, but he does have to sing
And do a little dance.
and maybe a little dance. Maybe a jig or something." I don't know.
Dance a jig. There you go. I think that would be appropriate. Muggsy Faye, too.
Oh, and her banjo.
Okay. So tell me about this. This is not a name I've heard in the past. Whiskey Stomp, obviously, I've heard a few times over the years. They've done a few benefits here and there.
I've got a friend called Jake Snyder, and he's a local guy, plays guitar, and he said to me, my girlfriend plays, and she plays the banjo, and I was like, all right. So I took a look on YouTube, and she's a sensational banjo player. So I said, absolutely.
High energy.
Yeah.
So
Cool. Okay. And again, that's part of the musical entertainment on Saturday the 25th. Also, food. What kind of food?
For sure, we're going to have a popcorn bar, and right now we are still working on donations from local companies, and hopefully that will fall into place by the end of this weekend.
Explain what a popcorn bar is. Is this like a candy bar or?
Well, this is where Diana would be great right now. She was the one that was like, "Oh, we'll do this popcorn bar," and I'm like, "Well, what's really involved?" And she goes, "Well, we have the popcorn machines that were donated to us,
And then you put like toppings on it or something. Oh, okay.
but we also will have soda. Pepsi was great and helped us out there with that for the kids, and then obviously, adult refreshments will be offered for cost.
Sure.
But we'll have stuff for sure.
Okay. Immigration has been a hot topic in the United States for a long time. Of course, when we talk about that, we're pretty much talking about illegal immigration, people who are here illegally. Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, sounds like since you've been here, you've had that work visa, you've paid your taxes, so on and so forth.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Talk about your students. Fifth grade, obviously, they're beginning to learn about the rest of the world. You've got social studies. They kind of know other things that are going on. Current events are starting to come into the picture. Do they really understand how all of this works?
I don't teach social studies. I just teach. I teach science.
Science, okay.
So science is my subject. So the stuff that's going on outside, with
That's funny because we held this dance and they were like, stay, and the kids have been really supportive. They want to do anything and everything they can to help. They've come to us and was like, you can donate these things that I have, and they're the ones that really have
posters and artwork, and every day they keep bringing me the pictures of things they've drawn. This is for your auction, and it's fantastic.
So you've got art from the students at Riverside that are going to be auctioned off as part of the silent auction.
Yeah,
that's very cool. How sweet is that? How heartwarming is that?
It's fantastic. And one kid came to me yesterday, and she'd made something from clay, and she was just about to fire it, get it fired for me, and she was like, "What do you think before I fire it?" And it was fantastic. Yeah.
Oh, how adorable. Yeah. What about the rest of the faculty and staff at Riverside? They also supportive of you?
Absolutely, yeah. My principal and vice principal, they're saying anything we can do to help you. And, I mean, most of the people organising this are my friends from work.
Sure.
Diana used to work in my classroom, and then she left and became a speech therapist, but she still kept in touch with me. She said, I always liked the way you taught, the fact you were always so happy. Then when she found out about this, she said, hey, can I help you? Because you always help me. So she stepped up.
I can see why a speech therapist would want to keep in touch. No, seriously, I'm all about, because I'm about speech and talking, and so the different dialects and the way people talk, it fascinates me. It's so interesting.
It's funny. The funny thing is, adults may struggle with my accent. Kids get me straight away.
Do you find that it's interesting that you've been here for so long and you still have such a thick accent? It almost seems like it's on an individual basis. Some people say they live here, like even from other parts of the country, accent goes away within a couple years.
Sure.
They go home, it comes back, and it stays for another couple weeks, but then it goes away,
I've got this friend who says, she says, if you're talking, I can, I get you, but if you're Skyping your parents or on the phone to somebody from the UK, she said you'd break off into some foreign world.
So it gets worse.
She said, yeah, you just change.
Gets real sloppy.
This is like that scene with Austin Powers and his dad, where they're talking in proper British.
Yeah.
Well, we were coming back from Aspen last week, and in the car, and he was talking to me, and I was like, I looked at Diana, and I was like, what's he saying? I pick up about 75%, if he was in the front seat and I was in the back seat. And I'm like, I don't care, just keep talking. It's very soothing.
And the first thing I do whenever I meet anybody with a different accent or, from a different culture, I'll say, okay, you have to teach me all the slang phrases.
Sure.
Well, that's funny because we were talking and he brought up a story and was using the slang, and I was like, Diana, what? You talk to him all the time. What's he saying? And she's like, you don't want to know.
She wasn't willing to interpret that time.
No.
Yeah. For instance, in Australia, if somebody's a good guy, they call him fair dinkum.
Fair dinkum,
Right,
yeah. Fair
right.
dinkum, absolutely.
And so I'm sure. What would we say in like in the United States, we'd say, well, he's a chip off the old block if his son acts like his dad, or something like that. I'm just like I say, all about those phrases and talking and the way people communicate.
I find Australia and the UK have pretty much the same slang. It's kinda,
Really interesting. Well,
So
I mean, it makes sense.
Well, it's the same sports, and it's the same curse words as well. Everything's the same.
All right, we'll have that conversation later. Again, the name of the benefit is Save Super Hills Benefit. And again, if you want to look for more information on Facebook, go to facebook.com and then search for Super Hills, but spell super with an A, Supar. Just had to do that for the spelling because there was another Super Hills benefit somewhere else. There is a GoFundMe account that has been set up. There are posters all over between Carbondale and Rifle where there's actually a QR code that you can scan if you're out and about and you see one. Maybe you'll think of this interview and you'll say, okay, I'll help the guy out. You can also attend this benefit on Saturday, February 25th at the Eagles in downtown Glenwood. Food, as we talked about, the popcorn bar, some other stuff that still looking for donations from area restaurants. And you can get the latest on the Facebook page, the latest updates, you might say. Door prizes as well, also donated from area businesses?
Yeah, the local businesses have been fantastic. They're really willing to help and support Mike, and a lot of them, have been like, oh, my kid, went to that school. And like I said, everyone around the community has just been really helpful and great. We have golf.
Yep, three rounds of golf.
3 rounds of golf. We have a 2-night stay up in...
At the Inn at Aspen, the guys there know me, so that's worth like $600, he said.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we have massages. We have a wood carvings. What else do we have now?
Man, just now being put on the spot.
Yeah,
we have tons of gift certificates from local businesses. Like
boxing. We have lots of. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
We have boxing all across. I used to work in boxing back in the day, and
boxing, as in
boom.
Okay.
Well, what was really the strangest thing was I was at a boxing match in Manchester back in 1990, and some guy started talking to me. Some guy from the States. And he said to me, hey, he said, you know a lot about the sport. He said, can we be friends? And I said, I was just
easy.
I was at a weigh-in, and he goes, I don't meet too many people like you. And the next thing I know, I went to the fight, and it was a world title fight, and he came walking out, and I said, you're the judge for the fight? And he said, oh yeah, we'll keep in touch. Then I found out he's a TV commentator for HBO, and I'd never heard of HBO. And then next thing I know, I'm corresponding with like George Foreman and all these guys from HBO. And I'm like, what is this HBO? I didn't know because I was from the UK. And next thing, they signed all the big heavyweights, like all the Brits, Lennox Lewis, the Prince. So whenever HBO had a fight, I got free hotel rooms and tickets. So I became good friends with the boxing people.
So the next big fight in Las Vegas, you're the guy to call for a hookup.
Yes.
Good to know.
Yeah, right. There you go.
So I've got signed because the problem, well, not a problem, but I give lots of my pictures away if people want donation. So I've kind of almost run out of pictures, but I've got I'm autographing Muhammad Ali signed picture, Sugar Ray Leonard signed picture, Roy Jones signed picture, Tyson Fury, the current heavyweight champion. He lives close to me. I got a signed picture by him. I'm trying to think of different.
And that's going to be in the silent auction?
Yep.
I think you just need to get on down there and check out the silent auction if you do nothing else.
I mean, a signed picture from Muhammad Ali can't be... wow.
Oh, I got a signed picture from Buster Douglas, who beat Mike Tyson. I've got a few signed pictures. Yeah.
Just a couple.
Just
a couple that are somewhat in demand.
Sadly, I gave my...
You just never know.
I gave my pictures away, like the Foreman pictures and the Holyfield and those ones. I gave them away.
Out of the goodness of your heart.
I do not follow boxing, but my dad and my grandpa, I mean,
Sure.
they love it. When my grandpa was still around, they love it, and they would watch the fights together.
Absolutely.
And I can't remember who it was, but around the time that this happened with you, that you met the boxing judge,
Sure.
my dad and my grandpa went out to the Holiday Inn when we still had one before they tore it down, and they watched. It was like a pay-per-view. You pay $20 a person, and you get in, and you get to watch the fight, kind of thing, way back when.
Sure.
So I definitely recognize all those names. I mean, Holyfield back in the 80s, man. I mean, that was just huge.
He was incredible. I've got a picture of me and him shaking hands, and he weighed about 115, and at the time I was 215.
Okay.
And at the time,
So 115. Wow.
at the time I was working out. I was about 250, and he looked way bigger than me. It's just like,
Oh, that's
it's just incredible.
Interesting. Again, it's the Save Super Hills benefit, Saturday, February 25th. By the way, free pool and foosball that night as well.
Yep.
The Eagles will have the bar open. That's a cash bar. That money goes to the Eagles. But the rest of it is all a benefit to help Mike Hills stay in the U.S. of A., help him begin that process toward a... Is it a green card, Mike? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Okay.
it is. I think it's a 4-stage process.
Okay.
Well, and I'm not allowed any involvement. Yeah.
We'll talk about why you can be involved when we come back. Again, the Save Super Hills benefit happens Saturday, February 25th at the Eagles in downtown Glenwood from 2 to 8. Musical entertainment starts around 6. It is a family-friendly event. Kids, or students, I should say, are $3, adults $5, a maximum of $15 for the entire family to get in. And then silent auction, and the Eagles will have the bar open if you'd like to partake there. Again, if you'd like to learn more, just go to Facebook and search for Supa Hills. So SUPA Hills is all one word. That's how you'll find information on this event. Again, Saturday, February 25th at the Eagles in downtown Glenwood. Back and wrap things up in just a minute. You're listening to KMTS Connections. Welcome back to KMTS Connections. Again, this afternoon we're visiting with Mike Hills. He wants to become a citizen after living in the United States for 24 years, and opportunities for work visas and that kind of thing have expired. So let's answer the question right away. Why is it that you're not just paying this $15,000? You've been working here ever since you got here. Why not just man up, pay the $15K, and be done with it?
That would be great. However, because I'm going for the process says that I need to be sponsored. I can't pay for myself. If I pay for myself, I would probably finish up in a prison in Denver and kicked out of the country. So no, thank you.
So you cannot pay for it yourself.
No.
Legally, you have to be sponsored by someone else who pays your way into the country.
Yeah, I've got to be. I think you have to be like a significant person to the community. You know, they have to prove that you are a significant member of the community. Like, I've been Teacher of the Year twice now. The last 7 years, my state scores, I've been above state. I've been above the state average for 7 straight years. So that kind of helps me stay here.
Gotcha. And so that's why your group of friends got together and said, you know what, we're going to make it happen.
Sure.
So that explains it, and I'm sure I apologize for not bringing that up sooner, because I'm sure people are listening to this and they're saying, why doesn't the old Limey, thank you, the old Limey just come up with $15K? I was going to say bloke. I don't know if that would be appropriate or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of things that we don't understand about immigration. It's been very enlightening for us also.
Really? Has it, Dawn?
Yeah. I never realized that this was a process that somebody had to go through in order to get a green card. I thought that you went down to some office, you filled out some paperwork.
Like a driver's license.
Yeah,
right?
you filled out some paperwork, they took some pictures, you paid them some money, and you got a green card.
Sure.
And so this has been very enlightening for us also.
And Mike, you said it's actually different depending on what country you're coming from.
It depends on different. They have different. Like if you're from the Philippines, I believe it's easier. I think Australia has a different work visa situation where you can get different work visas. Apparently, the USA and the UK don't have good. Even though we're best of friends, country-wise, I think immigration-wise, it's harder.
Well, we don't want you coming over here and taking over the country again.
We tried it once.
No more detours.
We tried it once. We left, but it's raining, so we're coming back.
Again, you can help Mike Hills stay in the United States and get his citizenship by attending this event. Saturday, February 25th. Nothing like waiting until the last minute. Saturday, February 25th at the Eagles in downtown Glenwood. There is a phone number here. Whose phone number is this?
Diana's number.
Diana, that we keep talking about, but who did not come in today.
Well, Diana was working for our school district, and she went and pursued a job just in Wyoming, and
So she's not here.
Yeah.
Why she's not here is why she's not here.
yeah, she's not here. Is why she's not here, but
I was gonna say, she might be able to help me with my speaking a little bit.
I could help you too.
He's therapist down here.
Are you really? Okay, well, I could definitely use that. Again, this is 2 to 8 on February 25th, and what do we say? The silent auction, including those pictures with all those boxing legends.
We also have the hot springs in town have given us a month membership. There's a meditation group in Carbondale, and they've given us a month membership. You can go on their retreats for a month. And the Ironworks has given us, and the caverns as well.
And the children's pictures that they
Children's
have donated.
pictures.
Kids'
Yes.
pictures.
Absolutely.
Talk about the kids' pictures. I mean, what are they drawing? Are they drawing pictures of you, or
It's usually no. I'm glad it's not. That would be scary. It's usually like unicorns and bears and fluffy things. But they are fantastic. There's some really good artwork. I mean, better than me. I've got to admit.
well, if you're like me, it wouldn't take much.
Yeah.
So I think I understand what you're talking about there. Speaking of which, that contact number, Diana's number is, and it's okay to give this out.
Yes,
It's on the
yes.
poster. 930-1884, or if you have questions, you can also email keepmiketeaching@gmail.com. All of those words are spelled exactly the way you would expect them to be spelled, but on Facebook it is not. If you want to search for the event on Facebook, it is Supa Hills, SUPA Hills is the name of the event. Again, it's Saturday, February 25th at the Eagles. Anything else from any of you?
If I could finish off the Paul Simon story. So I came back to the.
I didn't realize you didn't finish.
I am
I'm so
finished.
sorry.
No. I came back the following year to this summer camp. I didn't apply to be a school teacher. I was like, nah, I'm not clever enough. And then I worked with this camp, and this lady came up to me right at the end. She said, "You have to be a school teacher." And I was like, I'm not so sure about this school teaching thing. And then the owner said, he goes, "You are the most popular guy I've ever had in the history of this camp." He said, "You've got to do it." So I applied, and straight after that, I jumped on a Greyhound. I did another several thousand miles on the Greyhound, all with Paul Simon's music. Finished up in Israel. I worked in Israel for a while, Paul Simon's music. And I was in Aspen one day, and I got talking to this guy on the street, and he was saying he was visiting his daughter, and we got chatting for quite a long time, about 30 minutes, maybe a bit more. And the guy was Paul Simon.
No.
Wow.
You're joking.
No, the guy was Paul Simon, because I got talking, and he said, "Oh, my daughter lives in Snowmass," and he was there because he played in Denver like a day or so later. And I thought, if it wasn't for his music, I would not be a school teacher.
What an incredible story.
What do you say to that?
I know. Well, exactly. I mean, really, the whole thing. I mean, you should get with an author and
And
write a book.
The cool thing is, I kept diaries of all the places, and I have books and books of diaries. But I just don't know how to approach writing my story, because I got some really funny stories.
So when they make the book into a movie, who is going to play Mike Hills?
Brad Pitt, of course. Oh, he's too old now, isn't he? He'd have to be.
I don't know. Does he have an English accent? I'm not even sure.
He's got a great Irish accent. If you ever seen the movie Snatch,
Okay.
yeah.
If he can do Irish, he can probably do English then.
Sure,
huh?
he could do it.
That, by the way, is the most incredible thing to me, is when I hear like Nicole Kidman and these people talking in what I would consider an American accent. It's like, whoa.
That's accent modification.
I'll take your word for it. Candace would know.
I'm a
I.
big fan of The Walking Dead, the TV show. And if ever you watch the interviews on YouTube, most of the cast is English.
Yes.
And you hear them talk and you say, "All right, Governor." You're like, "What? Is he saying he's English?"
Funny, I go through the same thing. Only the other way. I hear them off the set when they're not playing the American. It's like, wait a minute, Nicole Kidman is, what the heck? Yeah.
Sure.
Again, you can help keep this guy in the United States by attending this event Saturday, February 25th at the Eagles. Learn more on Facebook. Just search for SUPA Hills, S-U-P-A Hills. And if you have any questions that are not answered, call Diana 930-1884. I think we discussed everything. Again, admission is $3 for students, $5 for adults, maximum of $15 for the entire family. Everyone is welcome. Everyone is welcome in the Eagles until 10 o'clock, and then
after 10
everybody
o'clock,
under.
we have to boot the kids out, and
Gotcha.
it becomes adult playtime. But
And for the most part, the benefit is really 2 to 8 anyway.
and we're hoping the bands will stay and play longer.
And by the way, the band start at 6 o'clock, and they'll continue
Yeah.
at least until 8 and maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah,
You never know.
we'll have donation buckets out for as long as the bands want to keep playing. Also, the Eagles is donating a percentage of the bar that night to Mike Hill's benefit.
Oh, thank you for
and,
saying that. I didn't realize that. Okay.
We're here. We're here to have people helping people. So if people have a benefit they'd like to hold and they don't have a place, they can always get in touch with the Eagles.
There you go. And if they would like to do that, Dawn, how should they get a hold of you?
They would use my number, 456-9995.
Okay. 456-9995. And if you, as you say, if you got a similar kind of fundraiser, be it medical expenses, so on and so forth, you can't find any other place to do it, give Dawn at the Eagles
This
a
is
call
not our
and-
first benefit, and we're hoping it won't be our last.
Yeah. Again, that number is 456-9995. And again, this happens on Saturday, February 25th at the Eagles in downtown Glenwood. So, Candace, Dawn, we'll see you again for sure. Mike, here's hoping that we run into each other sometime in the future.
Okay, thank you very much.
Very nice to meet you. And
meet
keep molding those minds, I guess you might say.
Sure.
Exactly.
Just don't teach them those...
English fancy
yes,
words.
The English. Yes, there you go. The English colloquialisms is what I was trying to say.
I'll keep those hidden.
You've been listening to KMTS Connections, a public affairs program from KMTS News, heard weekdays around 12:30. It's another reason we are the most listened to radio station from Rifle to Aspen.